institution, Compassion Orphanage, started about 6 years ago. We had in mind that we're going to have a foundation. We agreed that we're going to have a foundation.
When you say we, you and your wife?
Myself and my wife, yeah.
Okay.
We agreed that we're going to have a foundation that will take care of the less privileged. And God will have it, by the grace of God, we'll be able to take care of the school fees of so many children. And we felt that it is not enough to just preach the gospel, for people to give their life. If you can't take the mess from them, there's nothing, you've not done your own. It's not a complete job.
And some people feel an orphanage should be arranged like a hostel. We try to make it look like a home, an average home, where you have some children, those that urinate at home, they have where they sleep on it and they are comfortable. They break, you take them out to dry, just the same way you run your own home, yes. The same way you run an orphanage.
Yeah, first of all was that we had, even before the beginning, was the challenge of accommodation. The first 5 were housed in our house, the same house with us, in our personal residence. We were together. From there, we were moved to Compassion Orphanage, Compassion Clinic. Well, there, they were there not because we didn't make provision for accommodation. We made provision for accommodation. We gave a man money to complete an apartment. At the dawn of that, he came back to tell us that, look, I will not allow my home to be used for orphanage. And we had another one. So many other places we got through, and we had one we paid for a year. After 3 months, it was already a problem. The landlady said one of the orphanage girl was a witchcraft. Until today, she's not able to prove that scientifically.
How old was the little girl?
The girl was about 12 years.
And they were calling her a witch?
Yes. And she insisted that the child must be removed from the home, or else she will throw us out. We saw also that there are some personality that other homes cannot care for, like those who are HIV positive. We decided to admit them.
So the greatest challenge has been accommodation, transportation, not food. We have food. They eat well. Even the ones that you consider sick, treating them has not really been a challenge, because it's like we have one that is a sickler. When she came, she could not even walk. You have to carry her to the bathroom, feed her, but today she can run. And since the day she came till now, we have not transfused her. The one that would have really been a big problem is the big boys. Because we are 6 years old. We are not expected to have grown-up boys. But somehow they come around.
You started with small children?
We started with small children. Okay. So we have not really have children that have grown to be up to 14 years. Okay. So you now know that a child that is 14 years in Compassion Orphanage that is 6 years old is a street child. That means the child has been in the streets for a very long time. But one thing we have tried to do is we don't reject any child. Whether you are sick, whatever your category is, we accept you. So we are able to minister to these street children, and we are making something good out of them. So there's really no problem with any of the children. The ones that are HIV positive, they get their drugs to time. It's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And you're funding all these things with your own money?
Now we don't have permanent donors, okay. Individuals. Okay. But when you talk of books, people bring books. There are some organizations that donate books. But for food, health, shelter, there's nobody.
Oh, praise God. You already know. Like I've said, if we got 10 million now, you should know what we will do.
know,
We're going to do a befitting building. We want to build them a home where they will not have any molestation. They're not going to have co-tenants who will remind them where they are coming from. The word they will hear is what will tell them where they are going to. And I'm sure also there, they're going to be very proud because we desire that that place will be a good place, will be very beautiful. It will be a far cry from where they are coming from. And I believe that some people will sit there, will wish they were orphans. Leaving the world behind.
My motivation comes as a result of my personal background.
Okay.
I was brought up as an orphan, and I find so many things difficult for me to start life with. So, yeah, that was the reason why I said to my God that if He can see me through to any level in my life that I will be able to lay my hands on anything, I will affect somebody. Anybody that I know that is passing through the situation I passed through and I am aware, I will come to the person's rescue. I actually had the initiative before I finished my secondary school.
Okay, wow.
So I passed through some stress until I met with my husband, who saw me through, who gave me comfort, who is always there for me.
She thought about having an orphanage. And we are wife and husband, and then there is no way I can choose not to give her my support.
Yeah, that would just be messed up, wouldn't it? Okay, when did you guys start this orphanage?
It's quite some times now. We started from Nyanya area of Abuja. Now we are in Gariki.
Okay, what year was that?
Precisely 1990.
The challenges I face are numerous. First of all is accommodation now, because the children, they did not just come at once. I started with one child to two children, like that. When people get our information, they come. When I get information about certain children, I go for them.
For instance, somebody's wife gave birth to twins in the labor room, and then the wife gave up and he became helpless, and learned about the orphanage and the care which we give here. They keep bringing such kids.
Every day today, we spend money. If it's not for food, it's for school needs. If it's not for school needs, for the children's pampers, for their milk, we need cash every day. Every day we spend cash. Every day. So the challenge particularly that is enormous now is the accommodation and the mobility.
For now, we have not received any support from the government. We are mostly challenged with the accommodation issue now. You being up is a personal residence, and because of the call of this work, we have converted it to the orphanage. So the number you see is not comfortable. So we have accommodation challenge. We have challenge in the area of mobility, moving them to and from their schools. They love singing. They love playing.
That's great.
If you ask them to stage a drama now, within a twinkle of an eye, you will be amazed what they will perform. And they are doing it passionately. So for being a group in this competition, it's just a challenge to them which they are ready to pick up. And they are already doing it. Wow. Then the accommodation challenge should have been solved. The issue of mobility should have been solved. And I'm looking at having an area for them where each of them, 2 will be in their rooms, comfortable bed, with a garden. They'll come out to play. And so on and so forth. So it's going to be... in fact, that is the vision.
Leaving no one behind. Leaving no one behind.
This orphanage has been established since year 2000.
2000. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the calling, I received the calling since 1979.
Wow. 1979.
But when I saw that it's not an easy task, I'm trying to dodge the...
You're trying to dodge the calling. That's funny.
So it's not easy.
It's not easy. What gave you the motivation to actually?
Of course, you know, it was calling from God.
Okay.
As I earlier told you that it's not an easy task because I have my own children.
Yeah. Okay.
And because of the situation of the world time, that time, and when God asked me to do this, when I sleep, I saw myself in the midst of the babies crying. When I'm praying, I hear the cry of the baby to the extent that I said, this thing is too much. I started praying, God, what do you want me to do? Then God spoke to me in many ways that He wants me to take care of abandoned and orphan children. You know, this thing started, I started to rebuke. This is not the Spirit of God, this is not...
You are rebuking this, saying it's not the Spirit of God.
Until a time when I passed through, have a minor operation.
Okay.
I gave up.
You gave up.
I died. What I'm telling you, it is the 3rd day when they're about to put me inside the coffin that God sent my spirit back. There, it is a long story. It is there I saw the clear revelation that
This is what you're supposed to do.
God told me that the man that approaching and talking to me then, telling me that the Church of God has abandoned what the Bible says in the book of James chapter 1 verse 27, that the pure and genuine religion that he desires is to take care of orphans and widows and live a holy life. So he told me many things, that the purpose of sending me back is to go and take care of these children, because the cry of the children have reached God. And there is nobody, many people are dodging, there are many people who has money and they don't even care.
Yes, exactly.
But they need somebody to take care, to fill the vacuum of motherhood.
Well,
So I started with one orphan.
Okay.
Started going up and down, taking care of orphan because I started in Rome,
Okay.
where that is Gomna Road,
Okay.
in 4-bedroom.
Okay.
There I started little by little.
Now, how many do you have today?
By the grace of God, we have 45,
45 children
now.
here. Wow.
And all of them are in the school, apart from the babies. Her, my sister, we face a lot of challenges because, number one, we find it difficult to pay the school fees of these children. We find it difficult to pay the salary of the worker because by the grace of God, we have 15 workers, we have to reduce them to 12 because we cannot. We are receiving challenges on accommodation. We are in Rome, that Governor Road. When the children have a school there, we repair the uncompleted building, we started teaching them some things. But the landlord said, want to sell the house, and we don't have the money. So we have to quit it all out to another place. Then early last year, the owner of the place said they want to use their house. They want to sell their house, which we don't have the money. They have to send us back to this place. And this place now, we are paying 800,000 every year. Sometimes we will have rice, we will not have money to cook soup. Sometimes we will not have food, but we thank God for individual people. We have been going from one church to another to help us, but we are just depend on God. Because one thing I believe is that God's work done in God's way will not lack God's support. We are invited to Abuja.
Okay.
So the children, the little children, about 10 children that came to us, they do their little presentation.
And they've made it to the final round.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they've made it.
So we have been waiting for reply
this
when we cannot get we don't know our state.
Yes. Well, I mean, what would you do if you won this competition? You know, there's a 10 million at stake. So what would you do if you won this?
I will be so happy. We have been praying that God see us through. That when I did not hear anything, so we put our trust in God.
Yes.
We know that with God, all things are possible.
Leaving no one behind.
The orphanage being this kind of work being funded since in 1994. I was a businessman running Swanex industry as a distributor, as a contractor. The Lord called me to serve Him. I refused. He kept on 3 times, not the same day. I feel that can I make it? He will make me to make it. Then I started by going out through outreach, by caring of with a little what I have and give the gospel. In each local government and state I went, I discovered a lot of multitude orphans. Then I started with 16 orphans.
You started with
16 orphans. But today, right now, we are over 57. The challenge I have, we lack of volunteer workers, and we lack of at times some urgent need. We cannot get it, but God supply. By immediately that thing happen, anybody. And now, doctor, because at time midnight they have a different type of sickness. The doctor been assist us for some years ago. Since last year, throughout last year, up to now, it's no longer. We find it difficult. That's one of the number one challenges we're having. But God are helping us and keeping us. This very apartment, the whole place, is no longer accommodate us. Then, because those of them grew up for the secondary school and nursery and primary, the space is no longer. We pack down here 15 March 2009. We rent here, and that kind of 2 years pay rent. And the challenging is that they ask us to pay to buy this. I say the place is not enough, and the access road, no expense, no any where we can demonstrate a lot of games and with other things.
There's no space.
No space. And that is why we intended to have in mind, we had to, they said, we had to pay here at least 900,000 naira in 2 years. Now, the 2 years expired last week. To pay another year, they now increased it to 550,000 instead of 450. These are the challenges.
Leaving no one behind.
40 orphanages, 8 finalists, 10 million naira cash prize. Music competitions have come and gone, but this time around, we're leaving no one behind. Adonis Production, in collaboration with Prince Tonya Princewell, presents the first and only music show bringing together amazing talents from orphanages across the country. Experience the stories, the music and the thrills on the station every Fridays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m. Melody Shelters, leaving no one behind.